Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. So today I'm going to be ranking every single protection in Tanki Online. There's a total of 18 protections and I will be including Armadillo. At the end of the day, the protection you use really is going to depend on who you're versing, but I'm hopefully going to narrow down the list on what you guys should focus on and which protection you should upgrade. Don't forget to use code Taspens if you're going to purchase something in the item shop, and let's get straight into the list. So number 18 spot's gonna go to the spider or mine protection. Now mines already don't do a ton of damage, and if the mine hits you with critical damage, you're still gonna take a lot of damage regardless of the protection that you're using. Now this protection is mainly useful for parkour players, but if you don't play a ton of parkour, it's not gonna help a ton in the higher and medium ranks in Tanki. Overall, the protection's good if you guys like parkour, but I would pick any other protection over it in a normal game regardless. So the number 17 spot's gonna go to the shark/vulcan protection. Now this turret is already not used that often, and it's pretty easy to dodge the shots from a player who's already not that great at using the turret. Since most of the projectiles in Vulcan go pretty slow, it's overall really easy to dodge, and the person who's shooting it isn't gonna get all their hits off usually. So overall, the turret's not that great to begin with, so you're not gonna need protection most of the time. So the number 16 spot's gonna go to the DOLPHIN/SMOKEY protection. Again, this turret isn't used all that often in high and medium ranks. You see them a lot more at lower ranks because you do get a lot of crit shots with it. But once you start getting into the higher ranks, there's just so many other turrets that people use that you're not going to be going against SMOKEY players all that often. And like I said earlier, SMOKEY does get a lot of crit shots, so protection against SMOKEY is not going to do a whole lot when they're already dealing double damage with critical shots. That's why it's going to go in the number 16 spot. So number 15 spot's going to go to the Panther/Twins protection. So unless the player is using an augment that increases the speed and range of the twin shots, you can often avoid the twin shots pretty easily. You can either outmaneuver them or you can just run away from the enemy player who's using twins. So unless you're really close to a twins player, the twins protection isn't going to help you that often in normal battles, so that's why it's going to go in the number 15 spot. So number 14 spot's going to go to the ORKA/Striker protection. Now people mainly use this turret in Juggernaut mode, so you don't see a ton of Striker players right now in other modes besides Juggernaut. Now the lock-on shots are the main thing you have to deal with at this turret, but if they have already locked onto you, having a protection isn't going to help all that much because they're already going to be shooting like 4 to 8 missiles at you. As long as you place yourself well in a battle and you can hide from the Striker, getting Striker protection isn't going to be all that helpful. So number 13 spot's going to go to OCELOT/Isida protection. Now almost half the people who use Isida mainly use it to heal their teammates. Now you won't have to deal with nearly as many Isida players who are actually coming at you and attacking you. So overall, since the majority of Isida players are healing most of the time, having Isida protection isn't going to be super helpful. That's why it's going to go in the number 13 spot. So the number 12 spot's going to be the Fox/FIREBIRD protection. With other close range turrets like Tesla and Freeze being so powerful right now, FIREBIRD is mainly only used with overpowered augments such as the Jammer augment. So a lot of people won't be using FIREBIRD unless they have a broken augment, so there aren't a ton of FIREBIRD players right now. The number 11 spot's gonna go to the Lion/Ricochet protection. Right now, the only way to make Ricochet honestly usable is if you have the Helios augment. With Helios being one of the only ways to use Ricochet productively, a lot of people aren't gonna have Ricochet, and even if they do, they're not gonna have the overpowered augment for it. If you have double armor, having protection isn't really necessary, so that's why it's going to go in the number 11 spot. So the number 10 spot's going to be the Wolf/Hammer protection. Now the main reason hammer protection isn't higher on the list is because if you can survive the initial bursts of shots from hammer, it does take them a while to reload. So if you have double armor and you use your repair smartly, you can honestly kill any hammer player you go against if you play smart. The number 9 spot's going to go to the Weasel/Tesla protection. Now overall, Tesla is kind of average right now. They did nerf it a lot since it first came out almost a year ago, but overall Tesla's not too great, not too overpowered for you need to focus on it, and it's also a short range turret, so it can't affect you in every playstyle like other turrets can. So focusing this protection isn't really necessary, and that's why it's going to go in the number 9 spot. So number 8 spot's going to go to the Badger and Freeze protection. Now we're getting to protections you should start focusing on when you're upgrading your protections and you're starting to pick which ones you want to keep upgraded. Freeze is a good example for this because the constant damage from Freeze can kill you really fast. However, since Freeze is a short range turret, you can either outrun Freeze players or kill them from long ranges, so you don't really need the protection as much as other turrets, but it's a smart one to get. Now the number 7 spot's going to go to the Armadillo/critical damage protection. Now the main reason this augment is so low on the list is because it's almost impossible to obtain unless you get really lucky with ultra containers or you buy into a Tanki fund. It's really helpful, but overall I'd rather have a 4th protection for another turret that's prevalent in a battle than having protection against crit damage. So the number 6 spot's going to go to the Falcon/Railgun protection. Now Railgun, depending on the augment, takes a decent amount of time to reload per shot. If you can play the situation smart and dodge the shots or hide behind cover, you can easily outplay a Railgun player. However, on large maps, it can be hard to kind of dodge around a Railgun shot because there's not a lot of areas to hide when you can't even see the Railgun shooting at you. So overall, focusing Railgun, just because a lot of people love to use Railgun, is probably a smart idea. That's why it's going to go in the number 6 spot. So the number 5 spot's going to go to the GRIZZLY/Thunder protection. Now there are a lot of new augments that make Thunder really viable right now. However, since not everyone has these augments yet, only some Thunder players are going to be dangerous to combat. Since Thunder is more usable now at longer maps and longer ranges, having protection against Thunder is important, and that's why it's going to go in the number 5 spot. Now the number 4 spot's going to go to the OWL/GAUSS protection. Now right now, GAUSS can shoot and aim really fast. This can one-tap you if you don't have double armor or protection against GAUSS. Not to mention, GAUSS can be used in all sorts of maps, long range, short range, even medium range maps. So having protection is necessary in certain maps because a lot of people are using GAUSS right now. So number 3 spot's going to go to the GRIFFIN/MAGNUM protection. Going against a player who has incredible aim with Magnum is very annoying. The impact from the shot and the damage at every range, including splash damage, is just stupid. Players who can hit cross-map shots don't even have to have perfect aim, they can just get a shot near you, and the splash damage from Magnum is just crazy OP. So having protection is really crucial, especially when playing maps where there's a lot of Magnum campers just shooting at you from across the map. So number 2 spot's gonna go to the Eagle/Shaft protection. Now this is most important in long range maps where around 1/3 of the entire enemy team is using Shaft. You're almost guaranteed to get one shot by a Shaft if you don't have protection against them. Now this can be impossible to combat since they play at such a far range, but overall Shaft is just really good if they have double damage and you don't have protection against them. So that's why Shaft protection is going to go in the number 2 slot. So number 1 most important protection you guys should be getting and focusing on is the Vulture/Scorpion protection. Now there's not a lot to say, but right now Scorpion is just insanely overpowered and the augments for this turret are crazy good. Having protection against Scorpion is needed, and that's why it's going to go in the number 1 spot. So that's my list. I hope it helps you guys kind of focus and pick which protections you're going to be trying to focus on and upgrade, because having certain protections is just more important in general because more people are using it. There's more OP augments for it. So hopefully this list helps you. Let me know what y'all's go-to protection is when you don't know what to use, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Peace out.